Still, we're not moving in the right direction. I don't get depressed. I get angry.
So what are you trying to achieve with your film? Is it just to tell people it's happening? Well, we need to go further now and talk about how that might then lead to changes in behaviour, changes in how we vote, or changes in how we actually try to live our lives to make a difference to that. So it's sort of identifying what you want, what effect you want your film to have, that will help you decide and make that film have an effect.
The biggest problem is that we're not just preaching to the converted. You know, people who like the environment, will watch all this stuff. But of course, we have to reach people that don't have any interest in the environment or don't really see there being an issue or seeing their part. They don't really have a part to play or feel they don't have a part to play. And that's our biggest issue as filmmakers, is how do we reach all these people?
So when you're creating films like this, and if you're creating one on the climate crisis, say, would you say it's a better approach to inspire people through hopeful thinking or through telling them the harsh reality and the facts and everything? What's your approach?
Your balance between telling it like it is, but also finding some hope and something that people can do, because generally you want your audience to feel something when they watch what you've produced, but also you want them to do something with what they've learned. And I think if people don't have any hope, then they're less likely to act because, what's the point? I can't do anything to change it anyway.
I think that's really important, is constantly kind of searching for that new angle, which is both entertaining but allows you to tell that story.
What we think is really important is like the collaboration between what you're doing with scientists and like the creative industries. And so how important do you think it is to keep like collaborating and working closely with scientists, and how do you find working with them?
I think it's hugely important. I think, it's one of the most important things, really. One, we want to make programs that are factually correct and 100% backed up by scientists and science. So we don't want to be in that situation. It may have happened to all of us where we're in the papers for getting something wrong. No one wants that. So we got to get things right. So that's the first and foremost thing. And I think scientists are getting much better. They are, every scientist now has to justify their research by the kind of media outreach or the ways people are going to talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's right. And scientists, I think, definitely have changed a lot in how they want to be able to communicate as well, because I think a lot of them, particularly climate scientists, are intensely frustrated that they've been, warning of what's here now for a very long time.
The heating of our world is playing havoc with the Earth's weather patterns.
That relationship between scientists and those who want to communicate that science is, hugely important. And you should find that therefore they will be very receptive to spending the time required to help you to understand what they're trying to communicate, because if you don't, you can't make a program about it. So it comes back to that same question, the same thing that Hugh said. Don't be scared to say, I don't actually understand what you mean there. Could you please try and put it in a different way? Because if you can't get it as the filmmaker, obviously the audience certainly will not.
I do agree with both Claire and Chris. I think there's a lot more mutual respect and understanding now between science and filmmakers than there may be at the start of my career. But, you've got to remember that a lot of scientists are actually in science, perhaps because of the films, the kind of films that we've made that's inspired them. And I've been very, very fortunate to have worked with David Attenborough in the years when he was actually traveling around the world. So I worked on Life of Mammals. We'd go all over the world with him. And I can't tell you the number of scientists that we were working with that would say to David, I'm in this job because I watched your programs and I was inspired by them. And it just makes you feel very good. You must realize that actually some of what we do actually really does make a difference to people's lives. And it's fantastic when you get feedback like that. But of course, it works the other way around as well. And I'm sure Claire's worked with this amazing guy, Rockstrom, people like him inspire filmmakers. So, it's as I said, I think there's a lot of mutual respect and understanding now.